always choose love. It sounds obvious, choose love, but in a recent session, my client was shown a past life where instead of marrying for love, she married for safety, security, and the betterment of her kingdom. And that decision is affecting her current life, including having a lot of guilt and shame over it. My client saw herself in a past life in the 1400s in Croatia or Czechia, where she was a princess living a beautiful life. Her parents, king and queen, are her current life grandparents, and they raised her with a lot of love and comfort and groomed her to be the future queen. At 18, there was a royal ball. Suitors were brought in from other kingdoms, aristocratic families. There were two main ones: an older man with a regal stature who was wise and dependable, and a good candidate for the king or queen consort. This suitor is her current life father. Then there was the younger one, the more dashing aristocrat, and it was love at first sight. He had a certain charisma to him, but he was inexperienced in worldly affairs. She danced with both at the ball, and when she danced with the older guy, she kept stealing glances at the younger one. She knew where her heart was. But when it came to making her decision, she felt forced to go with the older one. It'll be better for the kingdom, they said. It'll be better for the good of all. So she buried her feelings and married the older one. On their wedding day, as she walked down the aisle to her waiting husband-to-be, she passed by her other suitor, the younger one, the one she loved, and she could feel her heart breaking. She got married, and within a year, she gave birth to twins, a boy and a girl. But her husband, the older guy, was nowhere in the picture. He was busy running the kingdom, but he was happy to know he had a male heir. And as we moved forward, she grew increasingly lonely and more isolated. Her husband was barely around her and never paid her any attention. She spent time with her kids, and as they grew, her son was more involved in kingdom affairs and training because he was being groomed to take over as king. The only time she stood up against her husband, the king, was when it was time for their daughter to get married. She didn't want her to make the same mistake she did. She wanted her to marry for love. And when the king found a prince from a neighboring kingdom to improve alliances, she made sure her daughter wasn't pressured into it. She wasn't. She kept meeting the younger suitor whom she had to turn down at various times in her life, and they still felt that longing, but nothing could happen between them. At her deathbed, she felt the regret of her decision. She had so much guilt over this one decision and the shame she put herself down for the good of others. And she carried those feelings into her present relationships. And it was causing her to have unhealthy relationship attachments in her current life. We cleared the guilt, the shame, the regret trapped in her body. We cleared the relationship attachments, and the release was immediate. There were a lot of tears shed, tears of release and relief, and she often wondered why the unhealthy attachments in relationships and why she couldn't stop it. Well, now it's gone. I'm Savio, and I guide my clients to relevant past lives to heal emotions, patterns, traumas affecting their current one.